In this video, we're going to try to find out what's better, the mace or the spear. So, both of these weapons can do a lot of damage, but we're going to find out which one's better. Because mace, the higher up you are, the more damage it does. But the spear, the faster you're moving, the more damage it does. So we're going to try to see which one's better. So with the mace, you can one-shot a player with just 5 blocks up, if they have no armor on. Wind chargers boost you up a lot of blocks, more than 5. So you could do a lot of damage really easily like this. So that's a really good way you could do a lot of damage. And the more blocks you go up with the mace, the more damage it does. So we can kill really powerful mobs with one hit if we're high enough up. And if you successfully do a hit with the mace, it cancels the fall damage you would take. So this lets us kill really powerful mobs like the Wither, and we can also kill the Warden, which has the most health, being 500 HP. So we'll add density 5 to the mace, which makes it do more damage. You can also add wind burst on the mace, which if you mace a mob, it makes you go really high, so you can do more damage on another mob. You can do like a chain of mobs. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do with the mace is an enchantment called Breach. So the enchantment Breach makes armor like protect you less. So if I hit a zombie, let's see how many hits it takes. Alright, it took me 11 hits, but some of them weren't the best hits, so probably like around 8 hits. Now, there's a little trick, a glitch called attribute swapping. So, if you have a sword in one hand, and then you switch to the mace, as soon as you hit the mob, it'll do the speed of like the sword and like the damage of the sword, but it'll have the enchantments of the mace, so it'll do a lot more damage. So let's see how many hits that'll take. It took 7 hits. So that glitch method is better. But the next thing we're gonna do is gonna be a little crazy. We're gonna see what it's like to have a really powerful mace. So with this command here, we can get a really powerful mace. So let's try to see how powerful it is. Can we kill a warden with just the height of going up from wind charge? Let's see. Oh! We're at Y level 3000 because the wind burst. Oh. We're still falling down. I see the clouds. Okay, so the warden did die because it only drops the skulk sensor calibrated thing when it dies. Although the mace is pretty hard to use, especially if your target's trying to run away. So let's move on to the spear. So there's a lot of different kinds of spears. There's wood, stone, copper, iron, gold, diamond, and netherite. So for our test, we're just gonna use iron because it's like right in the middle of like all the spears and like damage and power. Now if you use fireworks and an elytra with the spear, you can do a lot of damage like this. And that's because the faster you're moving, the more damage the spear does. So maybe I'm not the best at using the spear. And you can kill a pillager. But that's not the best part. The best part is you can go through an army of mobs. Boom. Just killed like 6 pillagers in a row. But there's also an enchantment called lunge, which you can put on the spear. So with the lunge enchantment, it lets you dash forward, which is pretty nice. But it also takes away your hunger. So it's good and bad. There's also a 1-second cooldown on when you can use the lunge ability. But if you use a little glitch, you can spam it. Now you might be wondering what little glitch I'm talking about. It's the same glitch as earlier to do more damage with the mace and a sword. There's a little trick, a glitch. It's called attribute swapping. So if you're like holding another slot and then you switch to your like spear at the like same like exact second and use the ability by like left clicking, you can like bypass the cooldown, and then you go back to your other slot and you keep doing it over and over again, and it like bypasses the cooldown of the lunge enchantment. Okay, so the next thing is spear reach distance. So with a sword, you can only hit like 4 blocks away a mob, but with the spear, you can hit like really far away, like this far. By using attribute swapping, you can hit with the sword with the reach of the spear, and you have like the damage from the sword. So that's something useful you could do. You could hold a sword and go the spear's length, and then you could swap to the spear at the same second, because attribute swapping glitch. Hopefully they don't patch it, because it's pretty OP. Okay, so next we're gonna see what's faster, a normal player sprinting, or me with the spear with like the lunge enchantment. So we're gonna make this mannequin go on a minecart ride and see who's faster. But first we have to make the speed of the minecart faster, because the normal speed is 8, but a player goes at 8.5 blocks per second. But we can't do like decimals, so we'll just make it 9, so it's extra faster than normal. Alright, let's go. Let's start the race. Okay, so I won. So using the lunge enchantment, even while having to eat, is faster than normal sprinting. And also the reason I'm using golden carrots is because they give the most saturation when you eat food. Another way you could use the spear, if you're in a boat on ice, you go really fast, and you could use the spear ability and do a lot of damage. Alright, so next we're gonna do crazy enchants on the spear. So if we do this command, you can get a lot of crazy enchantments on the spear. So we have a crazy spear with all these crazy enchantments. We're gonna see how far we go. So our current chords, well, our last chord, which is 784, we're gonna move and see how far we go. We died, but we made it to negative 500. So we went over 1,200 blocks. Oh. Alright, we're gonna do the same thing again on a flat world. So we're at 0, 0, and we're gonna see how far we go. Oh, okay. We went like over 1,000 blocks. Okay. So that's pretty powerful. Oh, so is the mace or the spear better? I think the mace is better, but for early game, the spear is better because the crafting recipe is a lot easier. You just need 2 sticks and the material you want to make the spear out of. While the mace, you need a heavy core, which can only be found in trial chambers, and breeze rods, which can only be found from breezes, which are in trial chambers. So I think the mace is overall better, but the spear is a lot more better and like good for the very start of your Minecraft journey. Or if you're not like the best player ever, because it's really hard to hit something from high up compared to just holding down right click to use the spear's ability. What do you think's better, the spear or the mace? Write it down in the comments. Bye.